Hello students, my name is Mamata. I am going to teach you semiconductor devices subject. Subject code is 205. In this subject the first unit name is semiconductor diode. So from this unit today's topic is majority and magnetic carriers, drift and diffusion currents. Today's topic is what? Majority and magnetic carriers, drift and diffusion currents. So the main objective of today's topic is majority and magnetic carriers in p-type semiconductor, majority and magnetic carriers in n-type semiconductor, drift process, diffusion process. By the completion of this topic you would be able to know majority and magnetic carriers in p-type semiconductors, majority and magnetic carriers in n-type semiconductor, drift process and diffusion process. These are the main objectives of today's topic. First one is majority and magnetic carriers in p-type semiconductor, majority and magnetic carriers in n-type semiconductors. And next topic is the drift process and diffusion process. So by the end of this topic, this lecture, you will be able to understand what are the majority and magnetic carriers in p and n-type semiconductors and what is meant by drift process and diffusion process. So in previous classes we studied about types of semiconductors. So what are the types of semiconductors? Semiconductors are classified into two types. First one, intrinsic semiconductor. Second one, extrinsic semiconductor. So semiconductors are classified into two types. First one is intrinsic semiconductor. Second one is extrinsic semiconductor. Again, extrinsic semiconductor can be classified into two types, n-type semiconductor and p-type semiconductor. So these are the classifications of semiconductors. So how the semiconductors are classified? These are classified into two types, intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. Again, in extrinsic semiconductor divided into two types, n-type semiconductors and p-type semiconductors. We discussed this in previous classes. That means types of semiconductors are discussed in previous class only. So what is extrinsic semiconductor? This is also observed in previous class only. Extrinsic semiconductor, when we add an impurity to pure semiconductor to increase the charge carriers, then it becomes an extrinsic semiconductor. So when we add an impurity to the pure semiconductor to increase the charge carriers, then it becomes an extrinsic semiconductor. In extrinsic semiconductor, without breaking the covalent bonds, we can increase the charge carriers. In extrinsic semiconductor, without breaking the covalent bonds, we can increase the charge carriers. This is also studied in previous class only. So what are the extrinsic semiconductors? How this will be formed? So how the charge carriers increase in extrinsic semiconductors? In extrinsic semiconductor, the first step is n-type semiconductor. So when we add pentavalent impurity to pure semiconductor, we get n-type semiconductor. So we are adding the pentavalent impurities to the pure semiconductor, we get n-type semiconductor. So for example, arsenic is the pentavalent impurity atom that is added to pure silicon. So we will get pure n-type silicon. When we add an pentavalent impurity to pure semiconductor, we get n-type semiconductor. So this is an example of n-type semiconductor. By adding the arsenic to the pure silicon, so we are getting n-type silicon. And arsenic atom has 5 valence electrons. Fifth electron is superfluous, becomes free electron and enters into conduction band. Therefore, pentavalent impurity donates 1 electron and becomes positive donor ion. Pentavalent impurity known as the donor. So here pentavalent impurities example is we are taking here arsenic. Arsenic means the outermost orbit will contain 5 valence electrons, but pure semiconductor silicon will contain 4 valence electrons only. So these arsenic 5 valence electrons, from this 5 valence electrons, 4 are becomes covalent bonds with the silicon atom, and one is leftover electron, that means free electron in arsenic atom. This fifth electron is superfluous, becomes free electron and enters into conduction band. Therefore, pentavalent impurity donates. In this way, the pentavalent impurity donates 1 electron and becomes positive donor ion. Pentavalent impurity is known as the donor. Next, we discussed about p-type semiconductor, how the p-type semiconductor will be formed. When we add a trivalent impurity to pure semiconductor, we get p-type semiconductors. So by adding trivalent impurity to pure semiconductor, we get a p-type semiconductor. So take the example of trivalent atom is gallium. This gallium is added to pure silicon. We are getting the p-type silicon here. So p-type semiconductor example is what? P-type semiconductors, gallium atom has 3 valence electrons, whereas silicon will have 4 valence electrons. So it makes covalent bonds with adjacent 3 electrons of silicon atom. So gallium atom has 3 valence electrons only, but silicon will contain 4 valence electrons. So this gallium atom make covalent bonds with adjacent 3 electrons of silicon atom, and there is a deficiency of 1 covalent bond and creates a hole. So gallium 3 valence electrons forms covalent bonds with 3 electrons of silicon atom. There is a deficiency of 1 covalent bond and creates a hole. Therefore, trivalent impurity accepts 1 electron ion, becomes negative acceptor ion. Trivalent impurity is known as the acceptor. Therefore, trivalent impurity accepts 1 electron ion, becomes negative acceptor ion. Trivalent impurity is known as the acceptor. So I am taking one example for trivalent atoms is the gallium atom. It contains 3 valence electrons. So here we are taking pure semiconductor is the silicon. Silicon will have 4 valence electrons. So this gallium atom makes covalent bonds with adjacent 3 electrons of silicon atom. So there is a deficiency of 1 covalent bond and create a hole. Therefore, trivalent impurity accepts 1 electron ion, becomes negative acceptor ion. Trivalent. So in this, so that's why we called it as the trivalent impurity is known as the acceptor. Next, we discussed in carriers and p-type semiconductors. In addition to this, some of the covalent bonds break due to temperature and electron-hole pair generates. So some of the covalent bonds breaks due to temperature and electron-hole pair generates. Holes are the majority charge carriers and electrons are magnetic carriers in p-type semiconductor. So in addition to this, some of the covalent bonds break due to temperature and electron-hole pair generates. So holes are the majority charge carriers in p-type semiconductor and electrons are the magnetic carriers in p-type. P and n-type semiconductors, see this diagram. p-type semiconductors, n-type semiconductor. p-type semiconductor majority carriers are holes, so that's why holes are more in p-type semiconductor when compared to electrons. Electrons called it as a magnetic electrons. So acceptor ion is like this. So next, in n-type semiconductor, majority carriers are electrons, minority are the holes. That's why the number of holes present in n-type semiconductor less when compared to electrons. Here this ion is called the donor ion. See this diagram. So what are the majority carriers in p-type semiconductor? Holes. Minority carriers are electron, and this is the acceptor ion. So in case of n-type semiconductor, what are the majority? Electrons are the majority carriers, holes are the minority carriers. The ions in this we call it as a donor ions. Observe this diagram carefully. So we understood what are the majority and minority carriers in p and n-type semiconductors. So now we will see the comparison of semiconductors. Intrinsic semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductors. In previous class we discussed about this also. So first comparison is intrinsic semiconductor is a pure form. Extrinsic semiconductor formed by adding trivalent and pentavalent impurity to a pure semiconductor. Intrinsic semiconductor is the pure semiconductor. Extrinsic semiconductor is formed by trivalent or pentavalent impurity to a pure semiconductor. So in case of intrinsic semiconductor, holes and electrons are equal. In extrinsic semiconductor, number of holes are more in p-type semiconductor and number of electrons are more in n-type semiconductor. In intrinsic semiconductor, Fermi level lies in between valence band and conduction bands. In extrinsic semiconductor, Fermi level lies near valency band in p-type semiconductor and near conduction band in n-type semiconductor. These are the differences between intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductor. So how the conduction takes place in semiconductors? The conduction is carried out by means of the rift process and diffusion process. Conduction is carried out by means of rift process and diffusion process. So conduction is semiconductors carried out by means of a drift and diffusion process. Drift process. Now we will see what is the drift process. See this diagram. This is a semiconductor. We are applying the external voltage to this semiconductor. So by applying external voltage to this semiconductor, there is a flow of electrons in semiconductor. That means there is a movement of electrons and holes in semiconductor. So in this way, the current will pass through semiconductor. So electrons move from external circuit and in conduction band of semiconductor. So electrons are moved from external circuit to conduction band. Holes move in valency band of semiconductors. So electrons are moved in conduction band and holes are moved in valency band. So by applying external voltage only, this conduction will take place. So electrons are moved in conduction band, holes are moved in valency band. This is the conduction drift process exists. So drift current exists by applying external voltage to a semiconductor. That means when we connect external voltage battery to the semiconductor, there is a movement in holes and movement in holes and electrons. So by moving these holes and electrons, there is a conduction process exists. That conduction process is done by Diffie drift process. So here electrons moves from external circuit and conduction band of a semiconductor. Holes move in valence band of a semiconductor. Diffusion process. So diffusion process is moving of electron from higher concentration gradient to lower concentration gradient is known as a diffusion process. That means electrons are moved from higher concentration gradient to lower concentration gradient is known as a diffusion process. See this in diagram, we get clear idea. Moving of electron from higher concentration gradient to lower concentration gradient known as a diffusion process. So we discussed intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors, majority and magnetic carriers in n-type material, majority and magnetic carriers in p-type material, drift process and diffusion process. Before going to deal with the quiz questions, once again I am going to repeat the same topic. So what is today's topic? Majority and magnetic carriers in and drift and diffusion currents. Main objective of today's topic is what? Majority and magnetic carriers in p-type semiconductors, majority and magnetic carriers in n-type semiconductor, drift process, diffusion process. These are the main objectives of today's topic. That means by the end of this session you will be able to know about majority and magnetic carriers in p and n-type semiconductors and what is meant by drift process and what is meant by diffusion process. So if we are going to study about the majority and magnetic carriers, we will recap some previous topics, that is types of semiconductors. So semiconductors are classified into two types. First one is the intrinsic semiconductor and second one is the extrinsic semiconductor. And this extrinsic semiconductor is again classified into two types. First one is the n-type semiconductor and p-type semiconductors. So this classification in this slide, semiconductors can be classified as intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductor. Extrinsic semiconductors are further classified as n-type semiconductor, p-type semiconductor. So here intrinsic means pure form of semiconductor, extrinsic means impure form. That means we are adding some extra impurities to the pure semiconductor. So then the new form of semiconductor will be created. That form is called the extrinsic semiconductor. So why we are adding these impurities means to increase the charge carriers. To increase the charge carriers in semiconductors, we are adding the impurities. This process known as the doping process. So depending upon the doping, the extrinsic semiconductors are divided into two types, n-type semiconductor and p-type semiconductor. Here doping will be takes process by means of two atoms. By adding two types of atoms, we are getting the extrinsic semiconductor. That impurities are pentavalent atoms and trivalent atoms. Extrinsic semiconductor, what is meant by how the extrinsic semiconductor will be formed? When we add an impurity to the semiconductor to increase the charge carriers, then it becomes an extrinsic semiconductor. In extrinsic semiconductor, without breaking the movement, without breaking the covalent band, we can increase the charge carriers. So in extrinsic semiconductor, without breaking the covalent bonds, we can create or we can increase the charge carriers. So n-type semiconductor. Type semiconductor. When we add an pentavalent impurity to pure semiconductor, we get n-type semiconductors. When we add a pentavalent impurity to pure semiconductor, we get n-type semiconductors. Take one example of pentavalent atoms. We are taking here arsenic, and this arsenic acid is added to pure silicon. We are getting n-type silicon. So in this way we form the n-type semiconductor. N-type semiconductor, here we are taking example for pentavalent atom is the pentavalent atom. The outermost orbit of this atom will contain 5 valence electrons. So fifth electron is the superfluous, becomes free electron and enters into the conduction band. So silicon will have 4 valence electrons, but arsenic will have 5 valence electrons. These silicon 4 valence electrons forms the covalent bonds with 4 valence electrons of arsenic atom. The fifth one is the free electron. This is leftover electron. So this electron moves from valency band to conduction band and becomes free and enters into conduction band. Therefore pentavalent impurity donates 1 electron and becomes positive donor ion. Pentavalent impurity known as the donor. Therefore pentavalent impurity donates 1 electron and becomes positive donor ion. Pentavalent impurity also known as the donor. This is about the n-type semiconductor. Next we will see the p-type semiconductor. When we add trivalent impurity to pure semiconductor, we get p-type semiconductor. Take one example of trivalent atoms. Gallium is one example. This gallium is added to pure silicon. We are getting the p-type silicon. P-type silicon. So take an example of trivalent atom. Gallium has the 3 valence electrons, whereas silicon atom will contain 4 valence electrons. This gallium 3 valence electrons are forms covalent bonds with the silicon atom, and one covalent bond is covalent bond is not formed, and it creates the hole. There is a deficiency of one covalent bond and creates a hole. So gallium atom has 3 valence electrons. It makes covalent bonds with adjacent 3 electrons of silicon atom. There is a deficiency of one covalent bond and creates a hole. Therefore trivalent impurity accepts 1 electron and becomes negative acceptor ion. Trivalent impurity known as the acceptor. Therefore trivalent impurity accepts 1 electron and becomes negative acceptor ion. Trivalent impurity known as the acceptor. So p-type semiconductors are formed by adding the trivalent impurity to the pure semiconductor. So in p-type semiconductor, trivalent impurity accepts an electron ion, becomes negative acceptor ion. Trivalent impurity also known as the acceptor, whereas n-type semiconductor is called as a donor, p-type semiconductor is called as the acceptor. So carriers in p-type semiconductor. In addition to this, some of the covalent bonds break due to thermal energy, means temperature and electron hole pair generation. So in addition to this, the sum of the covalent bonds break due to temperature and electron hole pair generates. Holes are magnetic carriers and electrons are magnetic carriers. Holes are the major charge carriers and electrons are the magnetic carriers in p-type semiconductor. So in case of p-type semiconductor, holes are the major charge carriers, electrons are the minority carriers. In n-type semiconductors, observe this diagram. In p-type semiconductor, minority carriers are the holes, minority carriers are the electrons, majority charge carriers are the holes. So in p-type semiconductor, majority charge carriers are holes, minority are the electrons. And the ion present in p-type semiconductor is called as acceptor ion. Whereas in n-type semiconductor, majority carriers are electrons, minority charge carriers are the hole. Sorry, here the ions are called as the donor ions. Plus symbol indicates the donor, minus symbol indicates the acceptor. This is the simple diagram related to p and n-type semiconductors. Now we observe what comparison of semiconductors, intrinsic semiconductor and extrinsic semiconductor. Intrinsic semiconductor is a pure form of semiconductor, whereas extrinsic semiconductor is formed by adding pentavalent impurity to pure semiconductor. So holes and electrons are equal in intrinsic semiconductor, whereas in extrinsic semiconductor number of holes are more in p-type and number of electrons are more in n-type. Fermi level lies in between valence band and conduction band in intrinsic semiconductor. Fermi level is near the valence band in p-type semiconductor, and this is near the conduction band in n-type semiconductors. These are the three main comparisons of semiconductors. First point is what? Intrinsic semiconductor is a pure form, whereas extrinsic semiconductors are formed by adding impurity to the pure semiconductor. So these impurities are nothing but we are taking pentavalent elements or trivalent elements. Next difference is what holes and electrons are equal in intrinsic semiconductors, whereas in extrinsic semiconductor number of holes are more in p-type and number of electrons are more in n-type. Number of holes are more in p-type and number of electrons are more in n-type. The Fermi level lies in between valence band and conduction bands. Fermi level lies near valence band in p-type semiconductor and near the conduction band in n-type semiconductors. These are the three main comparisons of semiconductors. Next, how the conduction process exists in semiconductors. We are going to discuss that. Conduction is carried out by means of drift process, diffusion process. So the conduction will be start by using these two processes, drift process and diffusion process. Drift process. Take one semiconductor and connect this semiconductor to power supply, means battery. So then movement of hole and electron starts. Electrons moves from external circuit and in conduction band of semiconductors. So electron moves from external circuit and in conduction band of semiconductors. So electrons moves in conduction band of semiconductors, whereas holes moves in valence band of semiconductor. So drift process is nothing but by applying the external voltage to the semiconductor, the electrons moves from external circuit and in conduction band of semiconductors. So electrons moves from external circuit and in conduction band of semiconductors. Holes moves in valence band of the semiconductors. So by the diffusion process, the holes and electrons movement will be exist. So what is meant by diffusion process? Drift process. When you apply external voltage, we are getting the some conduction in semiconductor. So that means the electricity will be flows in this semiconductor. Hole moves in valence band of semiconductor. Next we'll discuss what is meant by diffusion process. Diffusion process is nothing but moving of electron from higher concentration gradient to lower concentration gradient is known as the diffusion process. So what is the diffusion process? Moving of electrons from higher concentration gradient to lower concentration gradient is known as the diffusion process. See this in figure, we observe how the movement of electrons exist. So in diffusion process, moving of electrons from higher concentration gradient to lower concentration gradient is known as the diffusion process. So how the diffusion process exists, we observe this diagram. Next is the summary. So in today's class we discussed about intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors, majority and minority carriers in n-type semiconductors, majority and minority carriers in p-type material, diffusion process and drift process. We discussed all these topics in today's session. Next we will observe some quiz questions related to today's lesson. So majority carriers in p-type material are material are first option is electrons, second is the holes. So the correct answer for this question is holes. Majority charge carriers in p-type materials are the holes. Second question, the answer for this question is the hole. Second question, diffusion process takes place due to first option is due to external electric field and due to concentration gradient. So diffusion process takes place due to concentration gradient. The correct answer for this question is the second one, it is B, due to concentration gradient. Next question is acceptor accepts electrons, holes, both. So acceptor accepts holes or electrons are both. What is the correct answer? Acceptor accepts electrons. Acceptor accepts electrons. So there is some frequently asked questions related to this topic. The first question, explain briefly about majority and minority carriers in extrinsic semiconductor. So next is the drift and diffusion process. The third one is the distinguish between drift and diffusion currents. So there are some frequently asked questions in exams. First one is explain briefly about majority and minority carriers in extrinsic semiconductors. Define drift and diffusion process. Distinguish between drift and diffusion currents. This is about today's class. I hope all of you understood about today's class. So just once check the PPTs. So we discussed majority and minority carriers in p-type semiconductors and what is meant by diffusion and drift current diffusion process. So we discussed in today's class majority and minority charge carriers in p and n-type semiconductors, and also how the conduction process exists in diffusion process and drift process. So these are the types of semiconductors. Now what is the extrinsic semiconductor and how the n-type semiconductor will be formed. See this diagram, and how the p-type semiconductor will be formed. And main charge carriers in p-type semiconductors are the holes are the majority carriers and electrons are the minority carriers in p-type semiconductors. In n-type, majority carriers are the electrons, minority carriers are the holes. Just see this diagram, you understood about majority and minority carriers in p and n-type semiconductors. And next we observe the comparison of semiconductors. So next about conduction in semiconductors. Conduction is carried out by means of drift and diffusion process. What is meant by drift process? By applying external voltage to the semiconductor, the flow of electrons and holes exist. So these electrons are flows in conduction band only, and holes are moves in valency band. So in this way the semiconductor will conduct. So by applying external voltage, that means that voltage is greater than the barrier potential. That voltage is greater than the energy gap. That means energy gap in semiconductors is 1 electron volts. When we applying the voltage of 1.1 electron volt to semiconductors, the drift process takes place. That means the conduction starts in semiconductors. So electrons are moved from external circuit in conduction band of semiconductors. So holes are moves in valence band of the semiconductors. Diffusion process. What is meant by diffusion process? Moving of electron from higher concentration gradient to lower concentration gradient is known as the diffusion. So we discussed all these majority minority carriers in p and n-type semiconductors and intrinsic and extrinsic semiconductors. How the diffusion process and fit process will be exist. And we observe some quiz questions also. So first question is, majority carriers in p-type materials are the, our correct option is the holes. And diffusion process takes place due to external electric field due to concentration gradient, and both. Diffusion process takes place due to concentration gradient. The second option is the correct one. So acceptor accepts electrons. And there may be some frequently asked questions. Explain briefly about majority and minority carriers in extrinsic semiconductors, and define the drift and diffusion process. Distinguish between drift and diffusion currents. These are some frequently asked questions related to today's topic. So I am going to end this session. I hope all of you understood about majority and minority carriers in p and n-type semiconductors, and how the drift and diffusion process exists in semiconductors. So I'm going to end this session. So I hope all of you understood about today's topic.